In this video, we'll be talking about natal moon in Scorpio in the 3rd house and what this placement means for you if you have it in your chart. And with that being said, what the moon represents in astrology is it represents emotional needs and our sense of fulfillment and security. And it's the things that we rely on for security. So when it is in Scorpio, this shows somebody that has an emotional need for power in their circumstances. They need to have control of the way things are organized, especially on a material manner, and especially when it comes to relationships. Also, the moon is debilitated in Scorpio because Scorpio is all about lack and desire. So with the moon in Scorpio, it shows somebody who always feels lack or always feels the need for something, because Scorpio is a fixed water sign. Fixed is about a constant way of being, and water is about feeling or emotion. So the moon in Scorpio shows somebody who constantly feels a certain way, and therefore it shows somebody that's very emotionally convinced. And they could be convinced in a pessimistic manner, or they can be convinced just in a identity or a way of perceiving themselves. So with that being said, when the moon in Scorpio is in your 3rd house of the mind, this shows somebody that is constantly making sense of their convictions. So also, on the other hand, it could show that you're somebody that makes sense of things until that you are convinced. So it either starts with a conviction and you constantly think about it, or you're constantly thinking until you get obsessively convinced about certain things. And sometimes it can be pessimistic, things, because Scorpio is about the darker side of life. And when the moon is in the 3rd house, this shows somebody that constantly needs to make sense of things, or is constantly seeing alternate possibilities. And when it comes to the moon being in Scorpio, this is particularly somebody that sees negative alternate possibilities about things. So like they have a hard time keeping an optimistic mindset because they really see the deep dark truth behind all things. At least that is how it is felt from their perception. Because they also see the negative side of things no matter what. And with a debilitated planet being in your 3rd house and the moon really having to do about our emotional well-being, when it is debilitated in the 3rd house, which is about the mind, this shows that particularly you may have a debilitated mental health in some fashion. And this could just be in the form of like obsessive thinking or pessimism. Now, the next topic we're going to talk about regarding the moon in Scorpio in the 3rd house is that it shows somebody that has a need for meaningful conversation and information when it comes to their way of relating to others. So when it comes to relationships, they need to know deep, dark, or secretive things about the other person. And a lot of times, this can give them the upper hand in a manipulative sense over that other person's psychology or over their freedom. Because Scorpio is all about power struggles. So for the most part, they will attract relationships where they have a lot of information about the other person that they can use against them. And for the most part too, the moon shows something that we attract. So these people will just attract, dark or taboo thoughts or opinions or conversations from other people. Like people feel comfortable just opening up to them about their darkest secrets and about dark topics and about pessimistic outlooks. So these people are relatable from a raw and unfiltered conversational standpoint. And a lot of times it could just be something that they naturally attract because of the vibration that their moon carries, and that they carry because of this placement. So finally, these people have this need for very sensitive information or information that is too deep. So again, they can be obsessive in their way of thinking, or they can have a very investigative mind and they want to know the deep dark truth about things, and they ask questions that are sometimes uncomfortable or sensitive, and sometimes they could be just an internal thing that they're doing, but ultimately they just constantly have this urge to know sensitive information, and this can make them nosy individuals, but also this could give them a manipulative power. These people are people that are capable of blackmailing others if they had to, or if they wanted to, just because they have that psychological understanding of information and communication, because the third house is about information and communication, and Scorpio is about manipulation or psychological intelligence. So anyways, to really summarize this placement, you basically have a debilitated moon in your third house, meaning that in terms of your mental health, there could be obsessive tendencies, because that's what Scorpio really tells me when the moon is here, and like obsessive convictions that you constantly make sense of or are thinking about, or these convictions could have come from the fact that you thought about something a lot of times. Like, you could be somebody that's just constantly thinking about possibilities and alternate reasons, or like you're constantly replaying an idea in your mind until it becomes an emotional conviction. That's really what it really shows to me. So your mind is very sensitive. Like, you're sensitive to the information that you consume, because then you will not be able to stop thinking about it until it starts to affect your convictions and your sense of self, and like not your sense of self, but like your outlook. So be careful about the information that you consume, you know, the topics, like the content that you watch, like, and the ideas and the suggestions that you're putting in your mind, because those will become the theme of your internal dialogue when you have this placement, and they can like create emotional convictions for yourself. So with that being said, that summarizes this placement. And so I hope that this video was insightful and that it resonated. If you did enjoy, or you saw yourself in this video in any way, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more content. If you'd like me to make a personalized natal chart reading video of all of your placements, which will be private and only sent to you, then check the link in the description to my Patreon, where I make a free natal chart reading for each of my Jupiter tier patrons. And also I offer a 50% discount on readings for my most basic tier, which is the moon tier patrons. Other than that, I also have an email in my description if you'd like to book a reading that way or have any inquiries. So check those out if that interests you. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching and supporting in any way that you do. And I will talk to you guys sometime soon in another video. Thanks for watching.